5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Live? Is it gonna be? Oh, there we go.
And
Yeah, okay, it's live. It was being weird for a minute.
hello and good evening, everyone. My name is Scrappy Fan 92, and there are some mysteries in town, so I got the nearest people around.
Nice.
I'm homeless. I was just a homeless guy he picked up.
Oh, I'm home, so I don't know.
I'm sorry, Harry's been watching Homestar Runner a lot.
Yeah.
God, though, that
Yes.
just makes me miss simpler times.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I've never seen a Homestar video, and Ethan maybe passed the primary original demographic for them.
I mean, I didn't watch. I always knew Homestar Runner was a thing for a long time, but I didn't. Like until now, I haven't really watched a lot of it, so.
Oh, it's great.
It's never too late.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you're 2 out of 4 people here don't really get the references.
That's what makes it funnier. I love making references to things that no one gets.
Everyone loses their Homestar virginity eventually.
Anyways.
And with us again is Tanner.
Again, no, I'm a homeless guy. You know what? I'm not gonna play that bit throughout the entire episode.
Also here is Harry, for some reason.
Well, I have to be here by default, unless you guys have any other way to record this.
Also here, yeah, I have these creative introductory segments. Also, there's no other way to say also, for Pete's sake. In addition, here is Nova.
That's what gets me as well. I say also way too much.
You know what this is looking like?
To be fair, my vocabulary is much better.
I just say a bunch of shit that makes me sound smart. Rule number 1 of podcasting.
Yeah. That's podcasters in a nutshell, basically.
Yeah, and with us here today is Joe Rogan.
And I'm checking synonyms for also. Furthermore, here is Ethan returning from our Mario episode.
I made it. It's the second episode. I thought.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Or actually, no, that's a bad thing. You shouldn't be here, like, at all. We thought we scared you off.
It's fine. I swear.
Oh, man.
It's fine, I swear, is what I say every time I record this.
Just people when they ask me about my social life after I explain this show.
So you say that you're fine, but you're not really fine. But they'll never understand.
They'll never understand. Oh, that vine. That's a good vine.
Yeah.
Yes, today is our, well, for me on the east coast of the USA, it's our special Halloween episode.
Hell yeah!
Yay!
Time.
Woo!
That was a good woo.
What's more scary than reading fanfiction?
Ah,
Reading cursed fanfiction. That's what.
writing it. I speak from experience.
You are not wrong.
What about writing? What about writing cursed fanfiction?
Again, from experience. Speak from it.
Mhm.
One of my scripts for Deadpool is going to be about the vengeful ghost of a Tony Soprano XP coming to kill Deadpool and Wolverine. And making him like
Wow.
a like Ghost Rider.
Well done.
He calls himself the Gabagool. I'm so lonely.
Story of my life.
Alright, let's continue.
I don't have. Today, because it is Halloween, and because this has been a marginally delayed episode, we are going to read a story based on the wonderful world of Scooby-Doo. And because half of my cast seems to have because half of my cast seems to have stopped following the franchise for a while, I guess I have to explain what Scooby-Doo is.
I feel like you don't, but
I mean, just in case.
He
I
had to
guess.
explain Pokemon, so it's only
in
fair.
case you've never turned on Cartoon Network in the early 2000s before.
Duh.
Yes, Scoop.
15 years ago.
Anyway, Scooby-Doo is a mystery comedy, occasional horror franchise created by Hanna-Barbera Productions, debuted in 1969. About 4 teenagers, or young adults, or occasionally children, and their 1 to 2 talking dogs.
Mm-hmm.
They solve mysteries with, like, no licenses. They just kind of walk into haunted houses and unmask people. It's great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember one dude was like, he cited the show as actually being a great example of science because of the fact that there was always some explanation behind the supernatural stuff.
Mm.
Right.
Except for Zombie Island, where it was real.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, Scooby-Doo has had many. The franchise has worn many, 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 many hats over the years.
Uh-huh.
And today's story, we are actually focusing on its late 80s trend of turning the characters into children.
Mm.
And also, I'd say this is the first incarnation, if I can interject, this is the first incarnation of Scooby-Doo where the franchise became self-aware.
To a degree, 13 Ghosts beforehand, which shared some writing staff with the show A Pup Named Scooby-Doo, did kind of lean to self-awareness at points. But yes, today's story is based off of the 1988 to 1991 series A Pup Named Scooby-Doo. It's exactly what it sounds like. Scooby-Doo, the titular dog mystery solver, as a puppy.
Yep.
In that story, Scooby and friends are part of the Scooby-Doo Detective Agency in their little town of Coolsville. They solve local mysteries, unmasking human criminals disguised as monsters.
Mm-hmm.
We got a viewer, I think.
Uh-huh. Oh, hello!
Oh, hi. Okay, just for I need to clarify this now. I'm not doing playing people's courses today. I'm just this is meant to be background background for the story
Reading
itself.
fan fiction.
Yeah.
You know what? You won't see many other podcasts or streams about that, so sit down, you're welcome. God, what am I doing with my life?
Oh, what was I saying? Like I am stalling for time to explain Scooby-Doo. This is Halloween. Yeah, I guess I should just properly explain who. Not probably. I will list off the main franchise regulars. Scooby-Doo, the cowardly but ultimately brave-hearted dog, if that makes any sense. Likes food, likes his best friend Shaggy, and yeah, that's kind of it. Normal Shaggy Rogers. He's a hippie and probably has several probably has mental breakdowns. Yet he's always made the bait for trapping monsters, which is really messed up when you think about it.
Has PTSD.
Yes,
Oh.
but like cartoon comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shaggy needs therapy. Daphne Ann Blake, the rich girl, occasional team benefactor, temporary leader for a time in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Frederick Herman Jones, official leader most time. Personality tends to change with every other show at this point.
Didn't have any at first, so they just do whatever they want with him.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, and a pup named Scooby-Doo, he's a conspiracy theorist.
The little blonde Alex
Velma Dinkley, Team Genius.
Also, unpopular. Well, not unpopular. Also, hotter than Daphne, which the writers later realized.
Alright then.
It's not a hot take nowadays.
I feel like she's everyone's secret, not mine, but everyone else's secret favorite member of the main gang.
Especially, like, later incarnations, where she just becomes, like, really dry and sardonic.
Yeah, she is miserable in some incarnations.
I like Shaggy. I don't know.
He was the
Shaggy's
he was
fun.
the most down-to-earth character on Mystery Incorporated, because everyone else was wrapped in teen drama shit.
Mm.
And he became kind of just the heart. He became the normal one, bizarrely enough.
Yeah.
We will maybe get to Mystery Incorporated in time.
Yeah.
It's a good show. We're all man-children here, is what we're trying to get at. Think for yourself. Alright.
And yeah, that's the original 5 I listed, and yes, I would be remiss to not talk about the most popular character, my namesake,
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo. No, Scrappy Cornelius Doo.
Let me at him.
It took several months of this series, but we are finally reading a Scooby-Doo story, and it's featuring Scrappy Doo, so hooray.
Doesn't talk.
I can't believe so.
No, this is a... yeah, this is a prequel, so he is just a little puppy in this one.
I can't believe someone made a fanfic about Scrappy Fan 92.
I mean... it wouldn't be the worst fanfiction.
What would that even be about?
It would just be a group chat of this show, which... I mean, I think we're pretty entertaining.
Like, just imagine reading a fic about us talking about reading fics. Like, what the hell?
Meta.
Yep. Anyways. Yeah, I have no special segue into this. This is just a casual Halloween episode. And the real horror is us stalling.
Yeah.
That takes us to today's story by Gizmo Burns, who has a very cute thumbnail for their story on fanfiction.net.
Mm.
The title of our... What were you saying, Tanner?
I didn't say anything. I think I just breathed.
I am hearing ghosts.
I mean, it's appropriate, right?
I should inform everyone there are not actually no monsters in this episode, in this story.
That's fine.
Today's tale is called A Pup Named Scooby-Doo Finding Baby Scrappy. Scooby-Doo Detective Agency loses Scooby's baby nephew, Scrappy-Doo.
Oh no.
Yep, responsible adults. Gus. Gizmo Burns says, so I felt like writing a pup named Scooby-Doo story that involves little Scrappy-Doo. Please try not to be too harsh if I'm not writing it well, or having the characters in character. I haven't seen the show in a long while. It's okay, Gizmo. Neither is everyone else in this room.
Yeah, you're not alone.
Oh, wait, Ethan has to go downstairs for something.
Okay.
You know what this is making for? A good episode.
Yeah, we will begin immediately once he returns, because you guys are all here voluntarily, but I don't like wasting your time, contrary to what people believe.
Why am I on this show?
because you secretly like it.
Yeah, I say as I've picked two fics for us.
You said you've been in over a dozen episodes.
Yeah.
Look, just give me more episodes where I can scream.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, you can scream at some of the stories we will be reading in the future, but maybe not for the right reasons. Has anyone else here ever read a Scooby-Doo fanfiction before?
Nope, not in
No.
my life.
No.
Ah, welcome back, Ethan.
Hi. Yeah, I barely ever read fanfiction at all.
It's weird. I mostly write it, but I don't read it. I'm not exactly familiar with fanfic tropes other than the ones that everyone makes fun of.
Yeah, I feel like in general, like nowadays people are kind of gone past the point of making fun of fanfics.
I mean,
At least as much as they used to.
because there is good stuff. I mean, I guess, well, I've definitely liked fan works. I'm a Marvel, and I'm a DC from It's Just Some Random Guy who I used to know. I used to know that guy.
Mm.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've really dabbled in Scooby-Doo fanfiction on the regular. The only, if there's like any recurring fanfiction tropes, is that the Grim World. Let me rephrase that. The Grimwood girls from Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School are very popular subjects for adventure stories. With or without Scrappy, often without. So yeah, that's my little anecdote. Okay. A pup named Scooby-Doo finding baby Scrappy, and yeah, 17 and a half minutes in to begin actually reading the story. New record.
Yeah, boy.
Let's begin. The story as it actually starts with "Let's begin." Let's begin. Shaggy Rogers and his puppy Scooby-Doo. Wait, punctuation kind of threw me off. Shaggy Rogers and his puppy Scooby-Doo were both standing right near a tiny little baby crib. As Shaggy was making goo-goo noises and rubbing the baby's belly, he says to Scooby-Doo,
Oh, ain't he Oh, God!
I'm dying over here.
Oh, ain't he precious? This is not gonna be a fun episode. Ain't he precious? If Shaggy's voice keeps changing, how do I not know how to do a Shaggy impression? It's the one impression everyone knows how to do.
Scooby-Doo replied while he laughed a little.
Yeah.
As Shag and Scoob continued to make baby noises towards the kid, the baby was barking in a cute way, while Shaggy gets out a bottle of milk from his pocket and hands the bottle to the baby. To the baby while he was handed the bottle to the baby's paws. It's a bit odd.
Alright then.
I bet someone would like some fresh milk. See, now he just sounds like I don't know, now he just sounds like a nerdy, like, stereotypical, like, where's my inhaler type character.
As the baby was trying to drink from the bottle's nipple, suddenly Fred, Daphne, and Velma appeared.
I love that the word nipple is in a Scooby-Doo story. This is the ever written.
Suddenly, Fred, Daphne, and Velma had all came through the door, and Fred said to Shaggy and Scoob,
Hi guys, we're going to the movies, and we thought you two might want to come along?
Suddenly, Shaggy turns the other way and tells him,
Sorry, Fred. Me and Scooby have to look after Scooby's baby nephew, Scrappy, while his mother's away. Why is that capitalized? Oh,
Son-
okay, I think I'm finding... This is not fun.
Suddenly, Daphne quickly ran towards the carriage to see and play with little Scrappy Doo. She says as she says while she picked him up. Okay, oh, it was a cute little puppy dog. Yes, you are. Yes, you. But suddenly, she started to smell a strong odor coming from Scrappy's diaper.
Oh god.
She then, oh my gosh, she then quickly tosses little Scrappy to Shaggy's arms. And says while holding onto her nose to avoid the horrible smell. Off the dog. Someone... Will someone change that little stink diaper, please? Fred told her while he was also holding onto his nose to avoid the smell.
No way! I really didn't think we were going into NSFW fake territory, and I'm not gonna do it! How about you, Velma?
What the hell?
Velma told him while she was also holding onto her nose to avoid the smell.
No! Let Shaggy and Scooby-Doo doing it!
Shaggy then told her while he was also holding onto his nose in disbelief.
No way, man! He's Scoob! He's your nephew! You do it!
Scooby-Doo, who then took a sniff of Scrappy's horrible odor, started to turn green and told the others while shaking his head and crossing his arms.
I know it's a thing babies do, but I've been exposed to the horrors of DeviantArt so much that this just...
No!
Hey, Scrappy!
What'd you say, Tanner?
Proofread!
But all of a sudden, Daphne soon gets an idea in her head and says, Hold on, I got it! Jenkins! Suddenly, Daphne's loyal butler approached in the living room and said to her, Yes, Miss Blake. She soon tells him while pointing her finger, Jenkins, change little Scrappy's diaper immediately. He then tells her, while getting out some Huggies, Yes, Miss Blake.
Yeah,
as Jenkins was now putting baby powder on Scrappy's... As Jenkins was now putting baby powder on Scrappy's behind and putting on a new diaper for him to wear, Daphne then tells the other kids, You know, even if he does smell, he is a cute little guy. Elma said,
Yes, he is an adorable little puppy.
Suddenly, Fred suggested that they should still go to the movies by saying,
Say, why don't we all still go to the movies? We can make little Scrappy Doo here with us.
Scooby-Doo said aloud while thinking about it.
Okay.
As the gang were all in the movie theater about to watch a new Blob film, Shaggy and Scooby, who were both pushing Scrappy's baby carriage, had both seen all of the candy and popcorn on the concession counter, and with delighted looks on their faces, they both quickly went over to the counter while still pushing Scrappy's baby carriage.
Like, Goob! Look
Wait,
at all
hold on. Shaggy told Scooby with his tough tongue hanging out of his mouth.
Like, Goob, look at all of that butter popcorn and candy.
With giant eyeballs coming out of his sockets, Scooby soon replied,
That looks delicious. Yummy. Oh my god, this is terrible.
The thicker your
All the
voice.
other three...
The voice.
Pardon? While the other three were buying the tickets, and Shaggy and Scooby-Doo were both stuffing their faces with the popcorn and candy bars, Wait. As the other three were buying their tickets, and Shaggy and Scooby were both stuffing their faces with the popcorn and candy bars, the baby carriage had disappeared. And while Fred, Daphne, and Velma had come to get the other three, Velma quickly said,
Shit. Ah, damn it, that I cut out.
A bit.
Ah. Well, quickly said.
Alright, you know what? Fair enough. He was supposed to say Jinkies, but it cut out.
Fred quickly hollered out.
Oh no! Velma said Jinkies! That means something's wrong! I do like that they become aware of that. Like I said, I feel like this is where the show became... Pup Named Scooby-Doo was the first incarnation where it was tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, very, very tongue-in-cheek with its show's own, with the franchise's own tropes at that point. And the story is keeping up with that, so kudos to the author. Suddenly, Shaggy shouted out,
Zoinks! Scrappy Doo's gone! You needed me to tell you that, by the way.
Scooby-Doo, while his eyes changed to dark white, yelled,
What?
I don't know why it's so funny to have him not say a catchphrase and just go, What?
What?
What
and
the
he
fuck?
then fainted. And he then fainted on the floor while Velma got out. Excuse me. And he then fainted on the floor while Velma got out her magnifying glass to search for clues. Daphne and Fred both in disbelief. As Daphne said to Shaggy and Scooby-Doo, her hands on her hips, "Wait, who was watching Baby Scrappy?" Shaggy told her.
Like, me and Scoob were, but then we saw all the goodies. Oh boy.
Scooby told her while he was getting up from the floor.
Yeah, the food tricked us. I can't even do the voice anymore.
That is a funny joke, though. Like, that was.
Daphne said while now rolling her eyes, "Oh boy." Suddenly, Fred comes up with a clue and tells the gang.
All right, I got it. It is my belief that little Scrappy-Doo was kidnapped by none other than...
Suddenly, everyone else other than Fred all yelled out, "Red Herring!"
Harry!
Poor Fred, now looking a little steamed, then said to the gang,
Okay, well, all right. You have any other suspects in mind?
Daphne said, "How about we all split up and... pardon me. How about we all split up and snoop and try to find Scrappy-Doo, and then if we find anything suspicious, we'll all meet back here." Fred went off with Daphne to the hallway of the theater. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy stayed in to search the front way of the theater.
There's a real easy joke here, but I'm not gonna make it. Everyone's made it.
While Scooby-Doo and Shaggy stayed in to search the front way of the theater, while Velma was scoping some of the movies in the theater and checking under the seats with her magnifying glass. Meanwhile, Daphne and Fred encountered the ticket taker guy, and Fred quickly began to get suspicious of the man. He was now pointing his finger at the guy's chest and told him,
All right, big guy. Where is little Scrappy-Doo?
ticket taker guy told him, "Who's Scrappy-Doo you're talking about, kid?" Fred then tells him,
Come clean! Where are you hiding him, sir?
Suddenly, the ticket taker guy drew poor Freddy to the other side of the theater. He ran over to his direction, and she said sarcastically, "Gee, Freddy, that was sure some good detective work." Meanwhile, Shaggy and Scooby-Doo were both back at the counter, and trying to find baby Scrappy with a question mark. Poor Scooby-Doo told Shaggy,
My sister will kill me if we don't find him, Shaggy. Raggy.
but Shaggy told him,
Calm down, Scoob. We'll, find him, okay? This is not a good impression at all. I'm sorry.
But Shaggy then told it, excuse me, but Shaggy then said to himself,
Oh. Wow, I'm an idiot. Sorry, mister. We're looking for a baby puppy dog. Have you seen him?
no, it's, but Shaggy then said to himself, and then,
Hey. Wait, what? No.
but Shaggy
I
then
hope-
said,
Oh,
Yes.
I hope. Gulp.
thank you. All of a sudden, the usher capitalized because he's a Lego Star Wars character. All of a sudden, the usher walked over to the counter and said to the kids, "Hey, what are you two doing behind the counter?" Shaggy told him,
Sorry, mister. We're looking for a baby puppy dog. Have you seen him? I'm Southern now. He was in a small bound baby carriage, I tell you what.
the usher then told him, "Sorry, son, I haven't seen any puppy."
Oh, we're both Southern. It's fine. You understand my hospitality.
Oh my god.
As they were both talking, Scooby was drinking down an ice-cold soda that he probably didn't pay for.
No, I was about to comment on that, but I didn't. That throughout this whole thing, I don't think they've paid for a single thing they've eaten.
Do they ever?
Meanwhile, Fred and Daphne... They really don't. Meanwhile, Fred and Daphne, who were both still searching the hallway, saw Red Herring, Fred's nemesis, coming out of the theaters to go to the bathroom. Fred quickly runs to question Red, and he told him,
Red Herring! What did you do to poor Scrappy do?
Red, who then poured his root beer on Fred's head, said,
What are you talking about, Jones? I was just going to use the bathroom.
Fred then told him,
Come clean, and we'll go easy on you.
Suddenly, there was a cry in one of the movies in the theater, and it sounded like a small baby. Fred quickly had heard it, and as he rushed to the movie that Red came out of, he says while thinking it was little Scrappy.
Uh-huh. I knew you took him in there.
As he went into the theater, he soon realized it was a human baby girl crying, and all the people who were sitting in the place shushed him. And while he
Oh my god, I am blind.
and while he was coming out, Red quickly called him a loser and punched him in the stomach.
Whoa, okay. Easy there, man.
As Red and after he did that, Red went into the bathroom. Daphne started to pat Freddy on his shoulder, and while she was doing that, she then told him, "Let it go, Freddy." Meanwhile, back at the counter in front of the theater, Shaggy and Scooby-Doo were both sitting on the floor, thinking that they would never find baby Scrappy. Suddenly, Fred and Daphne went back to check up on. Fred and Daphne went back to check up on the two. Daphne said with a disappointed look, "Hey guys, we couldn't find little Scrappy." Fred quickly yelled out.
But I bet Red has Scrappy! Just saying!
Suddenly, Daphne puts the cookie in Fred's mouth to shut him up, while Shaggy just thought of an idea of his own.
Hey, Scooby-Doo! Why don't we see if your bloodhound nose can track Scrappy's wheels?
Scooby told him,
I don't know if I'm up for it. Or up to it.
Suddenly, Daphne grabs a Scooby snack from her pocket, sneaking food into the theater, you asshole, and tells him, "Come on, Scooby, would you do it for a Scooby snack?"
Scooby stuff. He didn't actually say that for the record.
He soon snatches the whole bag and eats all of the Scooby snacks for the energy, and he begins to sniff almost everywhere. But suddenly, his nose turns into a finger. I like that visual gag.
Okay.
That is absolutely on brand with this show.
This-
Oh,
this-
right,
yeah.
right, yeah, right, yeah. Fair. Forgot about that.
But suddenly his nose turns into a finger and points to where the blob was playing, which was at the end of the hallway. As Scoob, Shag, Fred, and Daphne walked towards the door and went inside, they all saw Velma feeding little Scrappy with a bottle in her hands. As she was putting baby Scrappy in the carriage, she then explains on what happened.
I wanted to tell you guys sooner, but I had to feed Scrappy first. I found him in here because he knew that this was the movie that we were going into. He must have pushed the carriage on his own behalf to see the show.
As Shaggy was now sitting down to rest, he said to the others,
Like, wow, man, we are astoundingly stupid. Thing almost gave me a heart attack. I hope he isn't this much trouble when he gets older.
Daphne says while picking him up again, but he still is cute. As baby Scrappy Doo was then licking Daphne's face, the gang decided to chill out and watch the movie. The end. Da, 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 da. And that is a puppet.
I literally had one line at the entire thing.
Yeah, I am so sorry.
I mean, it's fine, I guess.
So what was the thing you said earlier, Tanner, about proofreading or whatever?
Yeah, there's a lot of grammar errors in this. It's not necessarily bad. It didn't really leave much of an impression on me. I was mostly saying that because of... Oh god, is this gonna get uncomfortably fetishy?
Do you have like a voice changer on or something? Because you sound a lot deeper right now.
Yeah, I know, right? Tanner actually sounds like he actually went through puberty.
Oh my god!
Oh, why you gotta do that to him?
Oh my god!
Damn,
I'm gonna
dude.
throw this microphone out the fucking window. Again, this...
No, why you gotta do that to him? That's just mean.
No, that's our entire relationship, is him just verbally shoving me into a locker.
Okay,
My God.
I'll level with you, Tanner, right now. Right now, it sounds like you're talking like this.
That's weird. I wonder if it's something wrong with my mic.
It might be.
Either way, I thought it was fine. I'm gonna leave now, maybe. Oh yeah. If I can't get my mic working.
Yeah, I mind you, I did read the story this year. I didn't go through it a second time. Probably should have. Gizmo, I like the premise of the story. That's just a little short escapade to find the titular Scrappy Doo, but yeah. This story was written back in 2018. If you still make stories, and I don't know, I'd advise maybe going through this story one more time just to kind of iron out the grammatical errors.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
there are jokes in here that are funny. I feel like you could do a lot more comedically with this premise. I mean, granted, it's a very like sitcom-y, lighthearted, cartoony premise of where is the baby, but you can do fun stuff with this.
You sound like Kylo Ren right now. Like it's throwing me off.
No, that's Tanner.
Finally.
That's Tanner talking, not me.
Yeah, I said Tanner.
Hey, no, he was making a joke. No, I don't know. I'm just gonna go, I guess, until I don't know what's going on with my mic. But yeah, I thought it was fine.
Yeah, you actually do kind of sound like Kylo Ren.
Awesome! I referenced Marriage Story earlier, so that works.
So tell me about the droid.
Tell me about the droid.
Oh my gosh.
Fun! Oh my gosh! Imagine
Okay, then,
Kylo Ren, but with my personality.
Yeah, you and Harry might be able to swap around when we get to the Star Wars script that we are definitely doing.
Definitely. Oh god, I'm gonna figure out what's wrong with my mic. I'll see you. I hate to leave in the middle of an episode,
Try
but
coming back out and then see if that works.
So, yes, Gizmo, this is... I enjoy the basic premise of it, and you've got the characters' personalities down to a T. Like, Yeah, Fred is pretty much perfect.
No,
Oh no, he was easily the best part of this.
okay, yeah, you sound better now.
Okay. Fred was consistently funny, which I remember from watching the show as a kid. He was like the consistently funniest character.
Yeah.
The most consistently funny. Your grammar errors are rubbing off on me.
I gotta. This is nothing. This isn't a fault of the author or anything, but the name Gizmo keeps throwing me off because I know that as Jason's dog.
Oh.
And yes, I think he did name the character after the Gremlins Mogwai. Oh my. What'd you say, Harry?
No, I'm just trying not to die in the game. Don't worry about me.
Yeah, this story is fine as is. It could be great just with some grammatical tune-ups. Like, my fault for not reading through it a second time to, acclimate myself for a live reading. I did get thrown off a bit just trying to do it live, and I had to admittedly improvise some words just to keep flow.
No, that's all good. It went by fine enough at the end of the day.
And again, I forgot that Scrappy Doo himself does not talk in this because, well, infant. Like, this was meant to be a showcase for Ethan because young person voices young dog.
Mm.
So instead, he gets his... Pardon?
I said he'll get a chance to do something.
Yeah.
One of these days.
I think I already had my chance last time.
Kinda, yeah. God, that episode was fun. That's probably one of my that and Love Live might be my favorites that we've done.
What was the one
Actually,
we did with...
no, wait. Darker Night. I'm sorry.
Oh.
That's the best one.
Tanner was referring to the MLP Mario Show episode that took 3 hours.
That was interesting. Yeah, no, Dark and I was just freaking hysterical. Good thing bullets nice, so you would lose
otherwise
boobs.
you would lose boobs.
And also, I'm being accused of Moomer.
We might do a... we might do like a best of story time recap episode, which is actually a worst of recap.
I can't imagine what it would have been like writing that, because if I had to write something like that, I'd probably be dying every like 2 seconds.
Yeah. I feel like everyone's tried to write a troll fic at least once in their life, though.
Yeah.
Because there's something like, how can I make something that is intentionally garbage, and like, can I make it funny and entertaining?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What just going with that instinct of what's the stupidest thing I can come up with?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tanner, you seemed worried about some of the content of the story early on.
Yeah, it seemed real fetishy and weird, and maybe that makes me the weirdo for immediately going to that.
Oh my. I don't think Gizmo Burns was trying to do anything out of the ordinary, so I guess that's our fault, really.
I
Yeah,
hope
that's
not.
absolutely my fault. My innocence has been corrupted by the internet.
That's fair.
Yes, and today's story, Scooby and friends sniffed a diaper. I mean, they took care of a baby.
Jeez.
And next we're gonna do one about where they sniffed Scrappy's stinky paws.
Jeez.
Oh, yeah.
Dear God, no.
Huh.
Well, warts and all, I enjoyed the story, and Gizmo Burns, I wish you the best of luck in your other endeavors.
I wonder if they've done anything else.
They've written, I just checked their profile, they have written 137 stories.
Oh god, are they still writing stuff now?
My God.
Let's
No.
find out.
No, they stopped around last year.
Ah.
Well, that's still fairly recent.
They've written many stories.
then.
Yeah, they might. I mean, their profile dates back to 2009. They'll probably be back soon enough.
Yeah, we might look into that later.
Yeah.
Yes, but this will definitely not be the last Scooby-Doo story we read. Like, I can maybe think of one more that I read years ago that we could maybe consider down the line, but that one will have to be a long form.
Okay, that's fine.
But, yeah. If everyone still has, well, if Nova still has it in him, we may resume reading a few chapters of Erika today.
Yes, I'm going to go now, but I had a good time.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'm gonna go too. Oh, I had a great time.
Yeah,
Happy Halloween, Ethan.
Happy Halloween. See ya.
Halloween. Okay.
Happy we were able to read this while it was still Halloween in my time zone.
Yeah.
Okay, where did we leave off with Erika? I think we got to... I forget. I think it was chapter 7, and then...
Maybe? You guys can double check, I guess.
Yeah, I think it was chapter 7. So, yes, Erika, this is a bit of whiplash, but yes, we're resuming Erika.
Mhm.
Erika's a reading that is a story that we're reading. Erika. Erika. Previously on Erika, Sabrina and her friend, Erika, were enjoying their little tea time socials for a few months. They brought in Jasmine from Johto. And little did Sabrina know she has developed feelings for Erika. And now we are reading chapter 8 of Erika.
Doing Erika.
Reading Erika.
Okay.
Author's notes. I think you can think of this chapter as the halfway point of the story. Thanks so much if you've read this far. You're welcome. I really hope you've enjoyed reading it, because I've loved writing it. This is Erika, chapter 8, by Pika Blue Kachu. Alright then, see you next week, beautiful. She hung up. She hung up. One Wednesday night, pretty close to half a year after our tea social meets first started, I had just gotten off the phone to Erika. No special reason for the call. I just wanted to ask her where she had bought a treat that Evie had taken a liking to earlier in the day.
Okay. But she just went and called me beautiful before hanging. Sabrina, the intimidating and ruthless gym leader with cold eyes. Beautiful. I shuffled along to my bed and flopped down onto it face first. I grabbed my pillow and just... I'm muffled. The longer I thought about what she said, and how badly I wanted her to be here in my arms at that moment, the redder my face became. It didn't help that we had spent hours basically cuddling in her gym just earlier that day. Does Erika know what she's doing to me? Is she doing this on purpose? I thought aloud. I could not stop thinking about her. It was becoming harder to ignore my mind's worship for her. I didn't feel this way about anything else in the world, even though I had friends now. Thanks to her. I flopped around onto my back and let the humidity escape from my face. My nose and eyes felt a little foggy from how long I'd been huffing into my pillow. I probably needed to shower in the morning. I'm gonna lose my reputation as a cold gym leader if my face doesn't stop feeling so hot. I joked aloud. I fell asleep in the incessant thumping of my own annoyingly loud heartbeat. I woke up in the morning with my arm covering my eyes. My body ached and my head kind of stung. I hadn't been crying, but my head and body felt like I had been. I was tired, but I showered and opened the gym as usual. My focus was out of whack though. I just wanted the day to be over with. This became pretty evident by my third challenge of the day. I had a feeling you were coming. My second pair was really strong, yada yada yada. The young challenger, luckily, ignored me and ran up to me, holding up a notepad with stars twinkling in her eyes.
Sabrina? I mean, Miss Sabrina, ma'am, is it okay if I call you Sabrina? Sorry, I'll start over. I'm such a huge fan. I saw you on... My dogs are barking, I am so sorry. I saw you on TV years ago, and ever since then I knew that I wanted to be cool like you. And pretty and smart. Please, Sabrina, can I have your autograph if I win, please?
It wasn't going to win, but she caught me off guard, and as a result my face was bright red. I tutted out loud. It wasn't like me to be embarrassed by a fan like this, and I was pretty sure it was all Erika's fault.
Miss Sabrina, are you okay? Are you sick? I can bring you some.
No, it's nothing. I'm fine. Let's battle now. Good luck defeating me. Smooth. I was gonna be playing a particularly embarrassing scene with a stranger over and over in my head for years to come. I wanted the battle to be over quickly, so I started with Alakazam. When I sent him out, I heard him laughing at my head, and his eyes took a gleeful, pesky fox shape. Quiet, you, I replied telepathically. At least someone was enjoying this. Luckily, with my mind in a mess, Alakazam picked up my slack and was even able to defeat the trainer's Dark-type Pokemon, an Umbreon. As usual, I won. The trainer seemed dejected and upset. She looked like she wanted to say something, but read the air in the room and turned to leave, stuffing her autograph pad away in her bag. She came here as a bright-eyed fan of mine and was leaving like this. I felt bad. I had been a poor host, to put it lightly. I sighed deeply and quickly tried to claw back my composure. Wait! I called out after her and summoned up all my energy to act the part of the cool gym leader she came here thinking I was. Listen, kid. It wouldn't be fair if I only gave autographs out to the people who could defeat me. Especially since no one can defeat me. Bring that here. I beckoned her to bring out her autograph pad while I used my telekinesis to hover a pen over from a nearby desk. I saw her expression brighten up within seconds, and she was once again the glittery-eyed girl she was when she first arrived. She rushed over, held the pad out to me, and I effortlessly used my telekinesis to scroll my signature for her. Underneath my signature, I wrote, "Keep training." I started mouthing "wow" as I did it. I ruffled her hair. Because I could, you know. It felt like the right time to do that. Anyway. In return, may I ask a question?
Anything, Miss Sabrina?
Just Sabrina is fine. May I ask how your Eevee evolved into an Umbreon? The girl scratched her head for a few moments.
I'm not sure. All I know is that Umbreon loves the moonlight and Umbreon loves me.
Moonlight? Love? It seemed like no one was ever really sure how to influence Eevee's other evolutions. Thank you for your insight. Now get out there and keep training, so you can defeat me in battle someday. She beamed at me and nodded. Before she stepped onto a warpad that led outside. She turned back to me.
Thank you so much, Miss Sabrina. And thank you for being my inspiration.
Inspiration? Me? I rubbed my temples. Damn it, my head hurts. I had made my way through the gym and told my trainers to take the rest of the day off. I had decided to close the gym for the day. I had to see Erika. As I was finishing closing up, Alakazam let himself out of his Pokeball.
Signing that girl's autograph because you felt bad for her, that's unlike you.
Yeah? I responded out loud.
Yeah.
He said,
She looked happy.
she did. That kind of thing used to not matter to me. Maybe it should? I used to think that I never inspired anyone, but maybe my personality was making that difficult. And I was changing. Alakazam did not criticize me for closing the gym. He understood immediately what I was going through. That Pokemon's capacity for intellectual and emotional understanding shocked me more every day. After I had let out the rest of my Pokemon, and Alakazam had taken to feeding them all, I steeled myself. I took a deep breath and reached for the video phone. My hands were shaking, obviously, because I was about to ask something unreasonable and stupid.
Sabrina!
Erika picked up happily.
What a pleasant surprise!
Rather than beating around the bush, I immediately asked if the unbelievable question I had called to ask. I failed to hide the fact that I was clutching my annoying, thumping, burning chest with a balled fist. Erika, can you close up your gym and come see me here? She looked puzzled for a second and briefly pouted, but her expression quickly softened. I knew she didn't like to leave Salamon City often. I don't know. She then covered her mouth with her fan and surprised me with a response.
Alright, pardon me. Alright, be there soon, sweetie.
She hung up. That was easy? I wasn't waiting long, but I paced back and forth the entire time. To be honest, I didn't really expect her to agree to see me that easily. I was not prepared for her to just come over so quickly. I huffed it as my mind couldn't even begin to describe what exactly I should say. What I even wanted to say. I know I wanted to see her really badly, but why? What exactly could she do that would help me? I began to feel really stupid. Why did I do that? As I was pacing and dragging my hands across my face, Erika wandered in. I stopped in my tracks and stared at her, my face still red. She stared back. It was probably the most concerned I had seen her in some time. She would have to be, after I suddenly told her to close her gym and come see me. I didn't want to see the look on her face anymore. I gulped and briskly walked up to her, hugging her and hiding my face on her shoulder, so she couldn't see my dumb red face, and I couldn't see her pity. My hunch was correct about one thing. My painful chest felt at ease while I was hugging her. I sighed deeply.
What's wrong? What's wrong, Sabrina?
She ran her hand through my hair.
You better tell me, or I swear to Arceus.
She jokingly threatened. I held on. I don't know. It's really stupid.
Tell me.
I wanted to see you. That's literally the only reason. You're the only thing that soothes my burning chest. You care about me. You think I'm beautiful. I can't actually put into words how badly I want to be near you when I think about these things. I just needed this. We stood there hugging for a short while, my chin resting on her shoulder, and my head leant against hers. I was probably crying a bit, and I was relieved she couldn't see. I felt so stupid that I had gotten this unreasonably worked up on a work morning for apparently no reason. Erika gave me a small squeeze.
So then, you want us to be closer than we are now?
I just nodded. Since her head was brushed right against mine, she could probably tell.
Are you comfortable if I do this?
She pushed her nose into my cheek and held my thumping head in both her warm hands. I nodded again and squeaked. Yeah. Erika let go.
Silly, your head is so hot.
I let go too and quickly hid my shamed face in my hands as Erika whipped her fan out and playfully fanned my hot head. She was giggling.
Shh, sweetheart, I think I know what's ailing you.
She turned away from me and held her fan over her mouth again. I dropped my hands and stared back at the back of her head, which at the time was a bit easier than looking at her eyes. I wiped my own eyes and was able to calm down slightly. Well, for a second.
Sabrina, I've decided that you and I are dating now, okay?
She turned and looked me directly in the eyes, with her fan still covering her mouth. Her eyes were completely serious, cool, serene, like a lake. Arceus, I'd always loved those eyes. All I could muster up in the end was a quiet, okay. I stood there wide-eyed, like a Standler in headlights.
Close your eyes.
I briefly saw her approach me and lower her fan from her mouth before I closed my eyes as she asked. I felt her kimono brushing up against me. Then I felt her embrace enveloping me. Then my lips felt warm and my stresses melted away.
And chapter 8. Well, that was easy.
Yeah. We can go home now, guys, it's fine.
So what are your thoughts, Harry?
I like the characterization, and I just kind of find the relationship really cute. It's very nicely done, I think. I don't have too much to say at the moment.
Excuse me.
What about you guys?
I'm a little surprised it happened as early. Well, early. We're approaching the halfway point, but...
Oh, it's gonna get a lot more complicated, but... yeah.
I mean, I do find Erika's just bluntness funny.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, the Pika Blue-Kachu definitely did a good job just describing the physical ailments one feels when you're in love.
Yeah, you don't really know what to do with yourself.
It hurts.
It really hurts. I think we can all say that from experience, honestly.
Like red herring punching Fred in the stomach.
Yeah.
Oh my.
What about you, Nova? You got anything to say about it?
There's not really much else I can really say without mostly repeating what I said in just slightly different words.
Fair enough, yeah.
Alright, chat. Oh my. My dogs are having a great time tonight. On to chapter 9 then, I guess.
Yep.
Let's see, chapter 9. Laughter. If you... Pardon me, I need to take a sip of my water.
That's fine.
If she wasn't hugging me, I might have tried to move away. Not because I disliked it, but because I thought there must be some mistake. Maybe she slipped. Maybe I was imagining things.
No. These were her lips, and she pulled me closer as she kissed me, denying me a chance of second-guessing her intentions. I, of course, kissed back. Why wouldn't I? I didn't even question it. The moment our lips met, it felt like home. I became suddenly profoundly aware of something I had always wanted. I had just never realized I wanted it. My unmistakable longing to kiss and hold Erika romantically like this was suddenly snapped into existence. It was immediately satisfied within a fraction of that second. I experienced an indescribable feeling of shock and serenity all at once. I didn't really know how to handle the situation though. What should I have done with my hands? Hug her back? I couldn't. I just left them hanging awkwardly at my side. How do you kiss people anyway? Should I have moved my lips? Just let Erika press herself into them? I had no idea. I just left my mouth mostly still. I was the very picture of someone who had never kissed anyone before. With all these thoughts and questions danced around my euphoric head, mere seconds had passed. It wasn't long before Erika eased away, though she still left one arm wrapped around my back. I timidly opened my eyes to meet her gaze. She was really close. I could feel her warmth on my face. I was still extremely flustered, but seeing her eyes close right after she had kissed me was enough to make my head so hot that my hair felt like it was standing on end.
First kiss?
Erika whispered confidently. My eyes darted curiously to her lips, but her fan was already covering her mouth again. I pouted. Yeah! I breathed quickly. The way she held me against herself intimately actually made me feel a little more confident in what was happening, but I was still largely lost for words. I let out a hot sigh and shivered, as I had been intensely holding air in my lungs for a while. She peered into my arms and gently headbutted her forehead to mine.
Hey, hug me, silly. I'm your I'm your girlfriend. I'm your girlfriend now. You can do at least that much.
Girlfriend. I'm your girlfriend now. I'm your girlfriend now. Her words bounced excitedly around my head. My face heated up again. My mouth quivered. My eyes lost focus. My heart felt like it was going to burst from my chest. It took me a few moments to digest what she had said before I made myself sheepishly curl my arms around her neck and lean my head back against hers as I stared into her eyes. I loved this closeness. I loved this warmth. I loved it. I never wanted to leave. The reality of it all began to sink in. The kiss, this intimacy, my feelings. I became overwhelmed. A choked up whimper escaped my throat as I squeezed her tighter, burying my face in her shoulder, wanting to be as close as possible. A few tears streamed quietly down my face. Erika stroked my hair reassuringly.
What am I going to do with you?
She purred comfortably. I felt her take a deep breath in before she gently gripped my shoulders and pulled away slightly. I could finally see her mouth now. She was smiling sweetly as she wiped my cheeks with her finger. I smiled back, though my mouth was still quivering slightly. I really hoped she could see how happy I was despite my mess of a face. Even looking into her beautiful eyes was still a little overwhelming. It was taking way too much willpower to stop the tears flowing. I emotionally huffed a laugh as I tried to calm down, sniffling and rubbing my own eyes. I admittedly didn't know what to do now. I averted eye contact and stared down. I noticed her normally sunny kimono was slightly damp from my tears. I bit my lip in embarrassment. What do girlfriends do exactly? Dumb question, stupid question. My thoughts berated me. Erika laughed. A pretty hearty laugh rather than a small giggle. Like I told a funny joke. My shoulders slumped and I pouted again, feeling even more embarrassed. Erika affectionately pecked at my cheek a few times to cheer me up.
Girlfriends do stuff like this. They kiss, they cuddle. Actually, they do a lot of the stuff we already do.
She tilted her head and locked eyes with me, smiling tenderly and rubbing my upper arms reassuringly.
We've been enjoying occasional physical intimacy for a while now, so we're already pretty coupley, don't you think?
Is that right? Was Erika seriously flirting with me all this time? She knew what she was doing to me? Meanie. But more than anything, I was still shocked that she had been willing to giving me that kind of attention these past months.
Yeah, yes. Yes.
Hello?
Nobody there?
Everything good? What's going on?
His ring's turning green, so I'm going to presume he's talking. He might have just gotten up to get something. And he dropped out. Welcome back, Nova.
Nope.
Everything good now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, let's see, where did we go to? Ah, yes. More than anything, I was still shocked that she had been willingly giving me that kind of attention these past months.
I already said that.
I know, I'm just trying to get us back on track. Yes?
It's okay. She giggled and gave me a small squeeze.
And Sabrina, girlfriends also open up to each other. Please don't feel like you need to hide things from me or hesitate so much around me, okay?
Clearly, she could still sense my anxiety and hesitance to act, but it was probably pretty obvious from the way I kept holding myself back from indulging myself in her. Even though she was my girlfriend, I still wasn't confident in the reality of that and all it entailed. I felt volatile. I could lose it all in a single second with just one false move. Can I kiss you again? I worked up the courage to ask. Erika playfully twirled a finger around my long dark hair and giggled.
Of course you may.
Before leaning into me and closing her eyes expectantly. I closed my eyes and tilted my head. I first bumped into her nose with mine, then into her forehead with mine, before my lips finally found hers and pressed into them. I relaxed and breathed out through my nose, my endeavor completed. It was more of a determined peck compared to a longer kiss, but I actually felt pretty embarrassed after bumping into her twice, so I pulled back after just a few. Sorry about that. Erika giggled and assertively grabbed my collar in her fists, pulling me into another kiss. This time she breathed in deeply as her lips engulfed mine, before letting me go and letting off some steam. She held her face in my hands, close to hers, beaming at me with the same adoring expression she usually afforded to grass-type Pokemon.
You're so cute, Sabrina. You are seriously such a cutie. I can't get over how cute my girlfriend is. Oh, my.
She laughed a little louder, affectionately kissing my cheek a few times before planting another on my lips. She was grinning as my face reddened like mad again. You win. I mumbled it and spit in daze as my eyes glazing over from the barrage of affections. Obviously, she was way better at this than me. I was not at all surprised, but even though she had kept asking me like this, I didn't mind. She seemed really happy. Really happy. Even though it was just me, she was really happy to hold and kiss me. Happy that I was hers. I was totally caught up in her pace, and seeing her laugh and smile as she held me made all my worries evaporate. But we'd been standing up hugging for a while and I'd been crying, so it was getting a little harder to ignore the pounding ache in my head. I groaned out loud in a moment of calm. Does crying ever stop giving you big annoying headaches? Erika smiled sympathetically and stroked my hands.
No, unfortunately... No, unfortunately I don't think so, sweetie.
She huffed and gave me a little space, sitting us down. Eventually I relaxed a little more. Well, while I lacked the confidence to be very assertive about doing anything coupley, she more than made up for it by being affectionate with me, helping me to feel comfortable with the new weird situation. Actually, it was a little like how it was when we rekindled our friendship after years of not talking. Kind of. Just in the way she initiated conversations and encouraged me that I was doing okay. She even encouraged me about my messy first kiss. It said she couldn't wait for me to try to kiss her again. Arceus. Okay then. We actually ended up spending the rest of the day together. I hinted a few times that Erika could go and reopen her gym, but she wasn't having any of it.
Don't be... Pardon me. Don't be silly. I'm not leaving until we have our first meal together as a couple, of course.
She chimed and clapped her hands together innocently. I squinted at her suspiciously, And she just laughed. After squabbling a little over who got to cook dinner, I finally persuaded her that since she was my guest, I should be the one cooking. I actually really wanted to try her cooking, but I couldn't allow it. No way. I wasn't really a fantastic cook. I'm still not, actually. It's literally a by-the-books thing to me. I followed the instructions in the cookbook precisely, so it's fine. Just nothing special. This was the first time I was anxious about how my cooking tasted, though. Erika was fascinated about how obsessively precise I was in my measurements, peering over my shoulder nosily the whole time. It was really cute, but I was starting to think my red face would never return to its regular pale shade ever again.
Arceus, Sabrina, you even made Arceus, Sabrina, you even made it look exactly how it looks in the cookbook picture.
She exclaimed excitedly, her eyes lighting up.
I seriously always thought they were just airbrushed to look nicer.
What a weird thing to be impressed about. Wasn't it supposed to look exactly how it looks in the cookbook picture? My girlfriend is weird. I laughed anxiously. But in the end, despite my concerns, she insisted the meal was delicious. She still couldn't believe how exact I made everything, down to our portions being identical to each other and weight and arrangement. She kept going on about it. It's really not that difficult, a little telekinesis. It's not a big deal. I waved my hands in front of myself embarrassingly and tried not to laugh. Erika slapped the table gently, pretending to slam it.
That's not the point. Excuse me. That's not the point. Your attention to detail is absurd. I can't believe you do this every day.
She tried to hold back her laughter, but she was terrible at it. It just made her laugh louder. She actually snorted a little sometimes while laughing, which was so adorable. Her laugh was so cute and contagious, and I couldn't help but laugh myself. Come to think of it, I had seen her smile a lot when we were together, but I had never ever seen her laugh like this before. She brightened up the cold halls of my gym for the day, and it almost felt like it was somewhere much more pleasant than my home. Even in my brief moments of anxiety, it was hard to fight this persistent, goofy smile on my face the whole time, and a pleasant feeling of warmth in my chest. It was unsurprisingly sad to see her go in the evening. I saw her off at the front door of my gym. It was pretty late, but settle down was still a quick trip. I clasped Erika's hands in mine. I planned to say something cheesy, but in the end, all I could come up with is, "Are you sure the food was okay?" Erika beamed back at me, shining brightly like a star against the clear night sky.
Honestly, Sabrina, I haven't laughed like that in so long. Nothing is more delicious than wonderful company, and the food you made me was almost as utterly delightful as the chef.
Blushed slightly and tilted her head. What the hell? She can't just say something like that out of nowhere? I tutted out loud and pouted. You're making me want to kiss you, you know.
I was counting on it.
Erika teased, leaning her head closer to mine and resting her arms around my neck as she twirled my hair in her fingers flirtedly. Fine, damn it. Let's go. I grabbed Erika by the shoulders with conviction and stared directly into her eyes. I think she actually jumped in surprise a little bit, or her mouth took a V shape. I closed my eyes and linked my arms around her back, pulling her close. She relaxed into my hug while her gentle hand slid down my torso before resting on my ear, which made my head feel like exploding. But no, I can't let her defeat me this easily. Even if she touches my butt. I hugged her tighter in protest and pushed my lips into hers more assertively than last time. My eyes shut tight as I endured the redness of my own face. I felt her squeeze me and giggle in delight. As I pulled away, I let out a deep sigh. I can't believe you, I pouted. She reacted with another of her adorable infectious laughs, so I ended up laughing too. Thank you for today. I loved it. Every minute of it, I said as I locked eyes with her again. She whipped out her fan and fanned herself, covering her mouth.
I had a wonderful time with you too. Aren't you glad I told you we were... Pardon me. Aren't you glad I told you we were dating?
Her eyes took that mischievous shape again. Even though she was teasing me, I felt myself growing more confident. I'm not sure. I ran the back of my hand through her hair as I stared into her eyes. I think I may need a lot more kissing from you in the future to help me decide. That was the smoothest I had ever been in my life. I actually saw a little redness appear from behind Erika's fan, and she found herself as quickly as her heart raced. I grinned sheepishly.
Phew! I've trained you well.
She giggled. Giving my hand a little squeeze, she excitedly said,
I really can't wait to spend time with you again. Call me sweetie.
I wandered back inside. Alakazam and my other Pokemon have respectfully kept to themselves for most of the day. As I wound down for the evening in a wonderful, elated mood, I went to find and thank him. Thank you for being so cooperative today. Alakazam calmly closed his eyes and nodded.
Think nothing of it. Erika, all of this has been really good for you.
I beamed at him warmly and nodded. I can tell she's a good person too, so I hope you've been able to put the stressful past behind you. Oh. Oh, fuck.
Oh.
Pardon me, start over. I beamed at him warmly and nodded.
I can tell she's a good person too. So I hope you've been able to put the stressful... Pardon me. So I hope you've been able to put the stressful past behind you.
Alakazam was showing concern for me more often lately as we got closer. But he needn't. It wasn't necessary. Erika and I were actually dating now. Past didn't matter to me anymore. At least, I didn't think it mattered at the time.
And end chapter 9. That's cute.
Yeah. That was just some good fluff all around. Sometimes that's all I really need.
That's the payoff to the 8 prior chapters of build-up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear. I think I'm down for one more chapter if everyone else is.
Sure. That's fine. Are you okay with that, Nova?
Alright.
Alright then. Last chapter of the night because we gotta stretch this story out a bit longer. Chapter 10. Moonlight. I was elated for the rest of the week. Looking back, it was actually a little embarrassing how much it impacted my personality. I was a lot cockier around challengers, but friendlier too. I was also a lot more confident in my battle ability. I felt myself wiping out challengers much easier than usual.
Maybe it didn't matter that I was embarrassing? I could tell that Alakazam and Mr. Mime were enjoying battling a lot more than usual too. But Arceus did that Friday drag on. Even though I was in such a wonderful mood, every moment that went by, I felt myself just wanting to see Erika. At first I was thinking, I can probably wait until next Wednesday to see her again, right? No, I actually couldn't. After just one day, I felt like I had to see her again. So that evening, I picked up the phone and...
Ah, Sabrina!
Eh? I blinked in surprise. Erika was already on the line.
You picked up so quickly, I literally just finished dialing you. Were you sitting around the phone waiting for me to call?
She squinted at me suspiciously. Actually, I was just about to call you. I scratched my cheek awkwardly. I'm supposed to be the psychic one here, but it's like you read my mind. Anyway, Erika. Before I could really say anything, she quickly bowed her head and interjected.
I know what you want to say, and I want to as well. But I don't think I can spend time with you until Sunday.
She smiled apologetically. I opened my mouth to say something, but stopped because I didn't sound like I was complaining. She really did look sorry about it. Like I was complaining.
I wanted to see you today, and tomorrow too, but I need to handle some things here in Celadon, and I don't want to be worrying about them while I'm with you. Does that make sense?
I nodded, feeling a little at ease. My smile relaxed. Erika was very passionate about Celadon, and she did leave it just to spend time with me yesterday. Yeah, I understand. I tilted my head. You can make it up to me. I'll come to Celadon on Sunday, and you can take me out? I tried to sound confident, but I'd hoped she would like to offer to spend time in Celadon instead of here. She nodded and beamed at me warmly.
I'd be happy to. I'll spoil you. I'll spoil you to repay you for your patience and the lovely meal last night.
It'll be a hard wait, I hoped, but honestly, it's been nice just to see your face and hear your voice for a few minutes. Erika covered her mouth with a fan and chuckled. It looked like she blushed, but maybe I was just imagining things.
Yeah, same here. I'll see you soon, sweetie.
Good night, Erika. I wanted to try using a pet name, but I didn't have the guts to follow through. I sheepishly waved and tried to pretend that I hadn't just stuttered like that. The call ended. I pouted, feeling embarrassed and awkward. I groaned, rubbing my fingers on my temple irritably for a few moments before smacking my cheeks. Just one day, no problem. I motivated myself out loud. Saturday isn't typically a busy day for the gym, but I opened regardless, just to keep myself occupied and to make the day go by faster. I was still in a good mood, but was admittedly feeling a little anxious too. Lately, I was beginning to notice more and more how my battle ability correlated to my state of mind. It wasn't a big deal, as I rarely struggled to defeat most challenges with ease. Still, it was a little frustrating. I felt like I was letting Alakazam and my other battle partners when I became self-conscious about my battle ability like this. Sorry about today. I mused to Alakazam telepathically as we closed up on Saturday evening. Alakazam shrugged his shoulders.
I could tell you were battling differently, but you needn't apologize. Your difference in ability is not as significant as you think.
Is that so? I stared at the ceiling. You don't think emotions hold too much sway over me these days?
Nonsense.
Alakazam scoffed.
We're still human, Sabrina.
Erika never seems to struggle with her emotions like this.
You think so?
Uncle Sam questioned curiously. He chuckled.
Good night, Sabrina.
He allowed himself into his Pokeball and retired for the night. Good night, I responded out loud. I headed to bed too. One thing was for sure, I was sleeping a lot better nowadays. Maybe I really was doing okay. I tugged gently at the tight collar of my suit and anxiously fiddled with my cups. It wasn't like I was worried about pulling off a suit. I'd done so in the past for family obligations and for showcasing my psychic abilities at public events. I was so nervous about it though. This was the first time I had worn one on a date. On Sunday morning, Erika called me to say,
I'm going to take you to Celadon City's finest restaurant. Dress up fancy for me, okay, beautiful?
So, I wasn't given much choice. Luckily, the thought of seeing Erika in a formal dress was the only motivation I could ever need. My mind wandered trying to imagine Erika dressed up, partially to distract myself from the anxiety associated with going to a distinguished restaurant. I'd done that in the past with my family too, but that kind of highly tense and formal atmosphere made me uncomfortable. Being formal wasn't an issue for me. In fact, I was better at being formal than polite and informal or relaxed. Just on my own terms. In my gym or something. Somewhere I felt in control.
Oh, wow!
I heard a gentle clap behind me.
You look gorgeous.
I sped around and felt my eyes widen. Erika had emerged from her gym, basically shivering in the setting sun in a long, dark green gown. Her soft, dark hair was adorned with a white hairband and a flower rainbow accessory not too dissimilar in appearance to her own gym's badge. I had to cover my own mouth with my hands in an effort to stop an excited squeak escaping, but she giggled, so she probably heard.
How do I look?
She tugged at the skirt of her dress, showing it off.
It's nice to have an excuse to wear something besides a kimono from time to time.
You look iridescent, I said without hesitation, my eyes fixed on her. She blinked a little rapidly, and I could have sworn her face became several shades pinker before she looked away and fanned herself. I then averted my gaze and scratched my face awkwardly, worrying I had said something weird. But you always look beautiful in a kimono too. Erika thought that was funny, but her infectious laughter relaxed me. She walked up to me and bumped her hip into mine, locking her arms.
Thank you, honey.
Scrappy.
I spoke. Thank you, honey.
Honey? Honey? My mind squeaked. I felt steam rising in my head as I tried to wrap my head around what this woman was doing to me. She gently tugged my arm with hers.
Come along.
Isn't it a little awkward to walk with your arms locked in mine like that? I pouted, feeling a little embarrassed at her unapologetic PDA.
Who cares? Excuse me. Who cares? It's our first date, so we have to go out of our way to do mushy, coupley things, right?
He giggled loudly, clearly enjoying myself. I couldn't help but loosen up and earnestly reflect her cheeriness, grinning back at her.
So, darling,
Erika continued her merciless barrage of pet names as we wandered the bustling evening streets of Celadon. The game corner district was lit up with distracting lights and activity, but there were a few children or Pokemon to be seen.
That full crimson suit of yours is very striking. It's like I have my very own bodyguard.
She chimed playfully, fondling my arm possessively. I'm almost relieved you haven't seen it before. I laughed awkwardly. This is an outfit I've worn at psychic ability exhibitions, stage shows, that kind of thing. They're aired on the TV fairly often. Erika gave me one of the most genuinely surprised looks I'd ever seen from her.
What? You're on TV often?
You've been on TV, I helped the laugh in response.
I know, but barely ever. I don't really watch TV, so I didn't realize. Sorry.
She seemed uncharacteristically apologetic, so I rubbed her arm reassuringly. Hey, I said I was relieved, right? I don't watch TV much either. I don't really like how a lot of people treat psychics like they're entertainers.
They treat you like you're a magician or something?
She frowned.
Do you feel the need to even do these shows?
I shrugged. My family was eager to show off my psychic powers to the world from a young age. They said it would help with my career, and maybe it did a little, but I like to avoid doing that sort of thing in the future.
Do you dislike the attention? You've been in papers and magazines since we were kids.
I don't really care about that. The attention I get from fans or the press doesn't feel genuine to me. It just irks me to see psychic abilities being treated like an attraction. I thought back to some of the incidents I'd had from my abilities in the past. They're dangerous. Erika looked away from me and squeezed my arm again. We walked in silence for a short while before Erika spoke again.
I know you don't care about it, but I'm still happy for your popularity. It's nice to see you on magazine covers and things. Plus now I get to show off my popular girlfriend to everyone.
She grinned at me. I raised an eyebrow at her. Talk about the pot calling the kettle black. I still felt like a tiny caterpie compared to Erika's mighty glow and the social life she attracted.
Huh?
Erika tilted her head back at me, looking confused. Huh? What? Was she playing dumb? I pouted, but before I could say anything else, she gave my arm a little tug.
Right, here we are.
Erika chimed excitedly. She let go of my arm and grabbed my hand in both of hers, pulling me inside eagerly. This place was actually in the Game Corner district and was brightly lit up like most of the area was. Less gaudy than the neon signs of the entertainment buildings, but still a little overwhelming. I squinted at Erika as if to say, seriously? And she nodded back at me excitedly.
Come along, come along.
An absurdly smartly dressed waiter approached.
Ah, Miss Erika, we've been expecting you.
His accent was pretty strong.
You look utterly radiant this evening as always.
I scowled at him, but I don't think he noticed.
Allow me to show you to your table.
He bowed and led us to a quiet corner of the restaurant, before quickly scampering away to let us get settled. It was pleasantly lit and warm, away from most of the restaurant's chatter or overwhelming scale. I'm glad you picked a spot like this. I sighed in relief and made myself comfortable. Erika grinned playfully at me.
Welcome to Celadon City's finest establishment.
She declared, putting on a pretty bad fake Yakuza-sounding accent and sitting herself down across from me. That was so bad, I scoffed, though I couldn't help but smile. We overheard some waiters scrambling around busily.
Hey,
Erika leant over to me and whispered,
do you think this place is secretly run by the Rockets?
I grimaced a little. Don't even joke about stuff like that. I had to admit the waiters did sound like they spoke like Yakuza sometimes, but still, Team Rocket made such a huge mess in Celadon and Saffron, I didn't really want to think about them. She held her hands in front of herself apologetically and changed the subject.
Look, I know what you're thinking, and admittedly, this place is a bit much for me too. But the food is really good, I promise.
I smirked. Are you sure? The waiters seem to know you. And she waved her hands offensively.
I'm the gym leader, so my influence gets around. Plus, my family knows the people who run this place.
That did make sense. Erika's family was quite reputable, which was probably why she always took such great care with her appearance. I almost never saw her without some kind of kimono and hairband combo on, even though we were getting pretty intimately close to one another. I reached to her hands and gently grabbed them, smiling fondly at her. I'll take your word for that. I'll take your word for it then, madam. She giggled.
Careful, you're so dapper in that suit you're going to make me faint.
We chatted and flirted away. I was expecting to have a while to chat with her as we waited for the food, but I was shocked at how quick the service was. Before long, there was a ridiculously exquisite-looking spread of sushi platters adorning our table among other side dishes.
Sorry if you were hoping for far-fetched.
Erika smiled awkwardly.
They do it here, but I'd rather not eat it. The only meat I usually let myself eat is fish.
I blinked, still not used to Erika being apologetic like that. Don't worry. I smiled warmly at her and helped myself to some ice. Sushi is a wonderful treat from time to time. Erika gestured lightly to a particular white set of sushi after indulgently popping some Magikarp sushi in her mouth.
Terrible. By the way,
She spoke with her mouth full.
that's quillfish. If you ever wanted to try quillfish, now's your chance.
Quillfish? Wasn't that highly poisonous unless cooked just right? I'll pass. I awkwardly smiled and sipped some sake as Erika continued to shovel down Magikarp. Oh, and don't speak with your mouth full, honey. I teased her calmly, to which she laughed pretty loudly.
If you say stuff like that, I'm going to spit out my food and I'll never be able to show my face here again.
Before I knew it, I was laughing with her. I felt surprisingly relaxed here, actually. I had been to a fancy restaurant like this just before, just never with pleasant company. My family were cruel, but they were strict. Past visits to restaurants had always been so formal. I was able to appreciate the atmosphere and the food a lot better with Erika being such a fun companion. It was a completely different experience. I'm a little surprised to see Magikarp served somewhere like here. It never came across as high-class food to me. I took a few Kingler sushi rolls.
It's not.
Erika sipped some sake.
But some Magikarp are huge or have extra tough bodies, those end up being quite valuable. Which is nice for me. Since it's so common and isn't being overfished, I feel less guilty eating it compared to many other species.
No golden Magikarp here today, though? I joked.
Arceus, I doubt it. I don't think I could afford it. Afford that.
She laughed. She laughed in response.
Oh yeah.
She pointed out a couple of the other sushi involved.
A lot of these have actually been shipped up from Hoenn. I think there's some clam pearl and huntail in there.
My eyes widened a little in surprise. I think I tried some huntail without realizing.
What did you think?
I thought I wouldn't like eel, but it was nice. I'm not good with I'm not good with shellfish, though. Erika giggled, clearly enjoying my reactions to new things.
By the way,
She piped up again, leaning on her lean hand and staring at me curiously as I scooped up a bunch of rice into my mouth.
how come you never eat using your telekinesis? That seems like it would be really convenient.
I set my chopsticks down on the rest and stared at them as I thought how to explain. I don't know. It seems rude and scary. It's not like it's a common ability, so it would just attract too much attention, you know. Eating fruit like anyone else does is fine.
How about doing chores?
I pouted. I don't like using them outside of work. It's a work thing. Besides, I don't see you watering plants or anything outside of work, I teased.
Liar!
Erika laughed.
You know better than anyone that I keep my squirt bottle on me at all times.
She winked before continuing to laugh. I snickered. You don't mean... She held her finger over her mouth.
Shh.
And peeked her favorite squirt bottle out from behind her, which caused me to burst out laughing. Seriously?
Shh. Shh.
She laughed as she waved her hands about defensively. Seriously? I tried to keep it down, but I kept giggling. Where do you even carry it? You didn't even take a bag.
Oh yeah.
She winked again.
Secret? It's a secret? Anyway, eat up, Sabrina. Eat!
She continued to laugh and snorted a little. I rested my cheek on my hand and just stared at her. I felt completely warmed and relaxed in the moment, like my entire body was smiling and giggling. Actually, I think I'm okay just looking at you for the rest of the meal. Probably the sake talking. Whatever, right? Erika's eyes widened and her face went pink. It definitely went pink this time. I wasn't imagining it. I smirked mischievously at her as she whipped out her fan and began to fan herself.
Jeez!
She huffed. I laughed a little louder. After she composed herself, she was giggling from behind her fan. We ate and drank at a relaxed pace, stuck in our own world. Even though we had seen each other so much that week, it felt like we still had so much to talk about. It became even easier to make her laugh too. It was joyous. By the time we were finally ready to leave, it was already very late. Work tomorrow, I realized out loud. Erika gave me a sympathetic smile.
Let's get you home to bed, sweetie.
She begged the waiter over and asked for the bill. I'm getting you home to bed first, Erika, and I'm footing the bill.
No, Sabrina, I insist.
I opened my mouth to object, but Erika held her hand in front of my face.
I insist.
She stared me down. I furrowed my brow out at her and she grinned. This can't have been cheap. This once, I thought, using my telekinesis to transfer a lump of cash from my wallet into hers while she was focused on paying and tipping the waiter. Filmon City was quiet. This was the quietest and darkest I had ever seen it, and I was kind of awestruck. The game corner was still lit up and bustling, but the crowds had diminished and patrons were quietly shoving around more so than loudly rushing. As we drew away from the loud part of the town and neared Erika's gym, things became more and more quiet, until there was almost no light besides the stars and moon in the clear night sky. Erika's gym was hidden away in a wooded area to the south of the city, and I never appreciated before just how serene the area was. It was near completely silent besides the soft, rhythmical crunch of our feet walking through the grass. Occasionally the snap of a small twig. Faint cries of Pokemon shuffling in the bush could be heard. I almost didn't want anyone to talk at all from how peaceful it was. I normally felt awkward in social silences, but every few seconds she would squeeze my hand in hers reassuringly, reminding me that she wanted me to be here. Our eyes were accustomed, and the light from the moon and stars were enough to stop us from stumbling around in the dark. We were both a little tipsy, but I felt light as a feather.
Wait!
Erika whispered and stood on the spot, pulling me back closer to her.
Shh! Do you hear that?
I huddled close to her and stilled my breath. What is it? I whispered back. I heard a few faint Pokemon cries that were unfamiliar to me.
Listen, I think that was just a hoot-hoot. I think that was a hoot-hoot just... a hoot-hoot just then.
Her eyes lit up by the moonlight. She stared into the darkness with wonder, holding myself in herself as still as she could. Erika's honest awe at the simplest things in nature, her earnest passion towards things we normally take for granted, was infectious. I couldn't help but want to see the natural world through her enchanted eyes. I felt myself genuinely caring and thinking about things I had never really paid attention to before. Her grip on me loosened after the cry seemed to stop.
I think it hurt us.
She giggled and tugged me along. You think hoot-hoot are becoming more common in Kanto? I leaned in and whispered as we walked.
Yeah.
Erika whispered back.
I thought I was imagining things at first, but they must be gathering berries from around here.
I mumbled sleepily as I soaked in the calm atmosphere. It wasn't long before we reached Erika's gym. She left some lights on outside so it was dimly lit against the moonlight. I stood beside her and squeezed her hand, not wanting the evening to be over. She squeezed back and turned towards me.
That was probably the best night I've had in a long time. Maybe even years. Thank you for being such wonderful company.
I looked at the ground and blushed before turning myself towards her myself. I opened my mouth as I scrambled for words to pat the evening down. Just a little longer. You really do look incredible in that dress. The moonlight touches you and suddenly you're just shimmering. And then you're the only thing I care to look at. I cradled her waist in my arms and I opened my mouth again, but my poetic thoughts were dried up. Yeah, thank you so much for tonight.
Oh, that's so cheesy.
Erika gripped my arms and looked at the ground, avoiding my eyes. I stroked her hair before resting my hand on her cheek. She put her hand on mine.
Geez, Sabrina, you're really not going easy on me here.
I tilted my head and huffed. What are you on about? Erika quickly flung her arms around my neck and pushed into me, Breathing in deeply as our lips met. I gently cupped her jaw in my hand and kissed her back, much more confidently this time. She pulled back and stroked my hand with hers again. She kissed my wrist affectionately and planted a few quick pecks on the cheek.
I'm really happy, Sabrina. Thank you. I mean it.
That's my line, I pouted. Erika laughed gently, turning towards the doors of our gym.
I'd invite you inside, but
Erika sheepishly held her door frame. Ah, it's late, I smiled gloomily. To be honest, I didn't want the evening to end, but we have work tomorrow, and I've hogged your attention enough for 1 week. Erika sighed wistfully.
I'll see you on Wednesday. Like normal?
I nodded and grinned. See you then. Have a good day at work tomorrow, sweetie.
Ah, jeez. Thank you. You too, Sabrina.
He edged inside and hesitated.
By the way, you're beautiful. Okay, good night.
Then she scurried inside before I could say anything. Ah, what a weirdo. Both of us, I guess.
And end chapter.
Okay, that's a good place to end it because we're just about past the 2-hour mark.
Alright then.
So this has been a pretty lengthy one. How many chapters do we have left?
8.
8? Okay. We're going now. I like the scene with the restaurant and whatever. Do you guys have anything to say?
Shoot. I guess now we know what the Pokemon humans eat.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I always kind of figured the Magikarp thing because of how common they are, and it's like I don't know they're meant to be like the fish of the Pokemon world, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's already been confirmed. Humans do eat Pokemon, like Slowpoke tails are apparently a delicacy.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah.
Yeah, it like I don't know. I guess it kind of sounds bad in the context of Pokemon, but it's really no different from humans eating animals, so I don't really mind it too much.
Anyway, what are your thoughts on this chapters, Nova?
Well, if I were to sum it up in one word, relaxing.
Yeah, that's a good way to
Yes.
put it. That's a good way.
Yeah, it's a very soothing story to read.
Yeah, that's one of the that's a bit a good reason why I enjoy it. It's like I like how grounded it is. Like even in a world that's like all fantasy and like all these magical creatures, for lack of a better term. I like how grounded the characters are in this. It makes it easy to follow, and as Nova's been saying in previous episodes, the stuff related to like Sabrina and whatnot, it's really relatable and it makes it easy to connect right away. That's what I think anyway. Screw it, just go.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious to see how the relationship progresses in the other chapters.
There are some.
And that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to like hold my tongue a lot because there are specific events that kind of get pretty tense, and I'm curious to see how you guys to react to those things.
So be it.
That being said, there is I may or may not have mentioned this on camera, but there is a part 2 to this story. I don't know when. Well, I don't think we're gonna do that right away. So I don't know when we'll do that, but yeah, I don't remember what stuff is in that. So I guess we'll find out. But you guys got anything else?
Yeah, I don't have much else. I don't know when we do. Pardon me. I don't know when the next episode is happening. Probably not Monday, but maybe. But if we don't get it before Tuesday, then I would just like to remind my fellow Americans to vote.
Oh right.
Yes, there is an election coming up.
You have an election, and I have to deal with another lockdown. So that's what a time we live in.
Yeah. So vote if you haven't already. Put on a mask if you can't vote by mail. There's your civic lesson for this week.
Indeed. Did you have anything else to say, Nova? Is that all? Is that everything?
No, that's all.
Okay.
Alright then. Until next time.
Yeah. I guess I'll just pause here. Doesn't matter. Yeah. So next time I guess we'll just continue this story unless something else comes up.
Yeah. Have a good night, everyone. Stay safe. Wash your hands. And remember to vote.
Goodbye.